Hi, everybody. Welcome back to El Caile podcast with Gabriela. We're back with another holiday special. And I still have my elf ears for my elf costume. Hell yeah. So last night we did our Duendes episode. Well, it was like a Christmas Duende episode. And on my way home, I was telling my driver about like the Duendes situation, and she's like, she's from Nicaragua, and she says that in Nicaragua there's a lot of water, and in the caves that people see Duendes. And she's like, I remember when I was little, they would tell you, like, don't go outside by yourself because if you're not baptized, the duendes are going to take you. And I remember in Mexico, the same exact story. If you're not, if you don't say the kid's name while you're walking past the river, then the duendes take the kids if the kids aren't baptized. Or what do you call it? Christened?
Yeah, I think I heard that one. I think my mom had a similar one in El Paso, like a similar story.
Over there's like supernatural stuff too, huh?
Yeah.
In Texas, like
La Llorona is over there.
oh, La Llorona is over there. Because all the Mexican people brought it with them.
They did. And they were like they lived in like the desert. So the second the sun went down, it was pitch black. And so they would talk about seeing like this woman in all white.
Crying for her
Crying
kids.
for her kids. Standing under the street.
But then they say that she drowned her kids. And then she's crying because she drowned her kids, so she's sad.
She's sad. She's like, now I'm going to take your kids.
And she takes kids too?
I think
Why?
So.
Why is it always with the kids? And that's another thing that me and the lady were talking about, or my driver, because I was like, she's like, yeah, they would tell us don't go because the duendes like to play with kids, to take kids. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking like, because duendes are a mischievous spirit, so they like to play and like they like kids because kids are so lighthearted. Mm-hmm. But then La Llorona takes the kids too, and we saw it recently, and it also takes the kids.
I mean, kills everybody, but it's like drawn
likes
to
the kids. I guess because they're innocent. I don't know.
Or maybe they can like more easily scare them.
Like, yeah, that's true. Really, like to harvest the energy. Yeah. Dang. That's really scary. Yeah, she told me that when she was little, that she's like, I remember. That really made me think too, because she's like, I remember they were saying like in my town that a duende took someone's kid, and like that was like a story. And I'm like, okay, well, what if the kid just got kidnapped and like the family didn't want to talk about it or like make a big deal or tell everyone like, oh, they're kidnapping kids, so they're like, oh, the duende took him.
But like, why would they do that? Because then more kids are just gonna get snatched up.
Or maybe they knew who took the kid, like on Man on Fire. Remember when the dad set her up? Like maybe it's like the Nicaraguan duende of Man on Fire story. Hey, Tubi, hit me up. I got these all day. No, but yeah, she. And it's like, oh, the leprechaun from the hood makes a comeback. Mi papá es un duende.
That's Tubi partner.
See, come on, I got it. But that was fucked up and scary. She was telling me that. It just made me think like, we can never get rid of the duendes. The duendes are here forever.
Yeah, they're here.
Look, shout out our little guy. Look at him.
Hey,
this is one of my favorite non-binary characters I've ever, like, you're not gonna tell me that this is a non-binary person, right? Is it a girl? No, it's not a girl. Is it a boy? Maybe.
Mr. Ma'am.
Mr. Ma'am. Right? You know, the first non-binary person I met was there was this Samoan family that lived like not in my neighborhood. I would have to ride my bike to their house, and my best friend lived in that neighborhood, so we would always see like all the Samoan kids outside. And there was this tall person, and everyone would call him Auntie Charles. And he was definitely Charles, but it was everybody's auntie. Yeah, it was Auntie Charles. And, like, they love being outside and, like, talking to all the kids. And shout out Auntie Charles and shout out our little non-binary elf. We love you. He held down our little fake treats this year.
Treetop.
Yeah, so speaking of elves and just, I want like folklore, it's cool because elves are part of us, you know? And another thing I told the lady, I was like, those spirits have probably been there way longer than humans have been there, you know?
I feel like they come from something. Like no one just
The
made this
water.
up.
I think they come from the water.
You think so? Like little sea monkeys?
Or yeah, or like they're always by water. Remember Rumpelstiltskin was by the bridge? He was like he was under a bridge and you couldn't cross the bridge until you told him his name, remember? And his name was hard as fuck, Rumpelstiltskin.
No. I remember the name thing. I don't remember. I thought that was just a troll under a bridge.
He was a troll. We gotta look that story up.
Yeah.
We're gonna tell it like really good when we.
Lore.
Yeah, we need the lore, the Rumpelstiltskin lore. But I think it's really interesting that these concepts and these little spirits, they're so powerful and strong that they were powerful back then and they're powerful now and they will always be powerful. And obviously our holiday special has been about traditions and rituals that we do. I didn't really bring up Jesus because it's obvious that it's Jesus' birthday, turn up for Jesus. But, is it his birthday or not? It's like the questionable sound. So obviously I didn't bring that up. I don't believe it's Jesus' birthday. That would have made him a Capricorn. A Capricorn would never die for the world's sins ever. I know that because my birthday's right before that, and that is not something I would ever do. I wouldn't. And plus, it's cold. Like just all of the things, and you don't want to. I think Jesus was a Pisces. I think Jesus was born during Pisces season, and his personality just sounds more like a Pisces to me. So that's why we didn't bring up Jesus, obviously. Even though it is kind of like the party for baby Jesus. I don't know. I'm just obsessed with baby Jesus. I think that's why I love that during Christmas they bring baby Jesus back. Like all year it's a grown man, but then during Christmas he's a baby. He's back to being a baby. So baby Jesus reigns. I feel like the older one is more serious. Like you gotta take him serious. Like he was not born in the winter, but the baby one, he got a little Greek root to him. Like podemos así vacilar like more easily with the baby one. So all of this to say that rituals are something that's just ingrained in our psyche. We'll never be able to get rid of rituals. And even if you think that you're not a ritualistic person, you are, because we have rituals that we do every single day. Like you wake up and you walk to the bathroom and brush your teeth, or you wake up and you check your phone and check your Twitter or your Instagram inbox. I hate to open my Instagram inbox as soon as I wake up because it's just truly sending me like the worst reels that you could have. Oh my God, like the worst. Oh my goodness. Okay, I know that there has to be someone on this side of Instagram, but like why do people always send me these like, I'm turning Chinese tomorrow? Or it'll be like I'm gonna turn into a Chinese man, or like, don't mind me, I'm just on my Chinese shit. And I want to know where that came from because there's so many. And I think people know that I laugh at dumb, dry humor, so that they just send me like the dumbest, driest, stupidest humor. Chewy will send me terrible stuff. Like I could have gone my whole life and not watched those reels. So I don't like to check my Instagram inbox early in the morning. What would my ritual be? I guess right now I don't have one, and that's why my shit's falling apart. No, I have to have one. No, I make time for the things I need to do, but I feel like there's people that are way more disciplined. If you have a baby, obviously the baby's ritual is your ritual. You don't get a choice. India's face. You know what I mean? Like anyways, I like having my own ritual too, India. And these are just things that are present in our life, whether you believe in that type of thing or not. One of my favorite ones is like when you blow out your candle on your birthday, and that's literally candle magic. Like coming from someone who does a lot of candle magic, I love lighting a candle. I love doing a little like cord cutting spell, and then you light the cord and you're like, haha, bitch. You're like watching it burn. I love doing that, and I love candle magic. So when people are blowing out their candles on their birthday, I'm like, you're a witch.
Get her.
Yeah. Welcome to the dark side. There's so many things that you wouldn't believe, or that you wouldn't even think twice about, but it's like a really powerful ritual. And it's also recommended that you don't blow out any other candles besides your candles on your birthday because that's your wish.
For how long? Just in that moment?
Just in forever and ever.
For the rest of your life?
Like, don't blow out any candles. Like, if you need to put a candle out, put like something over it. Like, snuff it out. Because your breath is really powerful. So you only want to use your breath to blow out your birthday candle.
Interesting.
Yeah, now you know.
What happens if you don't?
I don't know. Something bad. Something really bad is gonna happen. But yeah, there's just just little old ancient satanic rituals everybody likes to do here and there.
Just a little Satanism to spice up your day.
Right? Nothing serious. Yeah, just even scrolling on your phone. I feel like now that we are more on our phones and there's just so much technology, there's different rituals that people do that obviously that weren't around back in the day. Like we talked about scrying. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so basically scrying is, like I said, I love candle magic. So a lot of the time you can scry with your candle, and I actually made some scrying candles like back in the day too, where the candle was really janky. It was not meant to burn for like longer than an hour, but it had tons of glitter and like crystals in it. And I had anointed it for scrying. And basically what it is you just light the candle and you watch the fire. And it's a really good way to exercise your intuition because there's a lot of information that's in the fire. There is so much information in that fire. And you literally just stare at it. And we talked about a download. Like, what is a download? And the best way I can describe it is like something that's being downloaded into your head. Like, it's not coming from yourself. You would never think that. And it's being gifted to you through you seeking out an answer or information. So fire scrying is something that I recommend. I really like doing that. I haven't done it in a long time. And honestly, my eyes are bad from staring like at the phone and the computer all day. So I feel like it'd probably hurt my head if I did it now. But India asked me about an obsidian mirror. And that one is actually a trip too. I watched a lot of TikToks on it after you asked me. And I watched this TikTok with this Mexican guy. He's a spiritualist. And he was talking to someone else and was like, have you ever tried the obsidian mirror? So obsidian is a really, really, really ancient volcanic rock or volcanic glass is a better way to describe it. So it's a volcanic glass. And basically it's really, really reflective because it's glass. And people used it. They carved it to make arrowheads, and I mean, obviously that way it's gonna protect you. But also, if you have an arrowhead, it's gonna protect you. Obviously, you stab somebody with it. But also, the stone itself had a lot of protective properties to it, and also it was used to make mirrors. And spiritualist people would look into it and basically get answers from it or see things, have visions. Like Snow White, like that could have been an obsidian mirror type that the witch was looking into, that magic mirror. And the guy was saying that working with the obsidian mirror is really scary for the average person because when you first look into it, your face starts to warp and your face starts to look really crazy, and it's basically because it's showing you your shadow self. So you have to be really, really prepared to go into that. And I talked about this before, like with the tarot, you don't just want to start dabbling in random shit that you don't know, because I feel like that's how people just lose their marbles and they're like, oh, he was on drugs, or like, they had a psychotic break, and it's like he was actually looking in an obsidian mirror he bought on Amazon for $14.
Stop, because I have one in my cart right now.
It's in the cart right now? That's so funny. It's like, you should pray for India. And I'm just kidding. Like, please keep me updated on your obsidian mirror. So yeah, so scrying, right? When we look at our phones, like, you're scrying. You're scrying, right? Like, you're looking into a glass that's filled with information, and then you're receiving the information. And then I saw this other TikTok, and this lady was saying that when she would hold her baby, once she would get on her phone and kind of how do you call it? Like disassociate? Is it disassociate or dissociate?
Dissociate.
Dissociate.
Yeah.
So when she would get on her phone and just start scrolling, she would dissociate, and then the baby would start acting like she couldn't see her. It's like, so maybe the baby is so in tune with her that when she started going through her phone, she's literally crying. Yeah.
Ooh.
And I feel like you're in a deep trance.
Yeah.
So even if you don't consider that a ritual, that's definitely a ritual that we have. Doom scrolling, I love to doom scroll. I love being in bed on my phone. Girl, on my commute home, I'd be on the bar like, oh my God, I can't wait to lay down and be on my phone. Like, when am I going to look at my phone? Who cares?
Yeah.
I just want to look. I just want to look at it.
I just want to look
And
and scroll.
it's all the same shit that's on it when I'm on the bar. Does it matter? No. The in bed doom scroll,
There's nothing like it.
one of my favorite human experiences. And then if you have like a sweet drink or something,
Ooh,
oh,
yeah, little sweet treat.
I know, like you literally need nothing else in this life.
And your feet are warm. I like that.
The feet are warm. One of the notes says Sunday scaries rituals. When the Sunday scaries kick in, oof.
Yeah. Dissociate hard.
Yeah, I love that. So why rituals calm the nervous system? That's literally all it does. It makes you feel like you're in control. It makes you feel like you're part of something.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're doing it, it's because other people are there. I think that's another thing is, especially for us that we're always online, a lot of it is like third space socializing.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that. I love socializing online, obviously. One of my favorite, that's another thing that I really love, like top tier human experience is just having like a cool online community. I love knowing people only online. Like you'll never inconvenience me. I'll never have to help you move. Like I never have to hear about like your terrible day. Like we just know each other online. All you do is like my photos and then we like key in the DMs a little bit.
Yeah.
And you love those people.
It's a nice little extra.
Yeah, I don't want to know the true colors. I don't want to know nothing about you. Just like this is enough. That's my favorite. I love an online community. Obviously, there's you socialize further. Maybe you get into deeper conversations. That's another thing. I also have friends that I met online that are gonna be my friend forever. But having a cool online community is also nice. And that's also, I feel like, a part of socializing is that ritual too. We talked about that too, right? Just like you're like, I have to socialize.
Yeah.
I have to.
Just have those moments where like that's the only way to fill your cup.
Right.
Is to exchange with somebody.
I think it's just important for us to watch what we are turning into a ritual. I'm very much against porn. Everybody knows that. I feel like I'm very, like, that shouldn't be your one time alone, you know? Or just, yeah, I don't really watch like that, like baddies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a hard watch.
It's a hard watch, right?
Yeah. I tried watching it, that one and Jocelyn's Cabaret.
Oh.
It was like everybody was quiet, yapping, and then all of a sudden, bam!
They start
this girl
fighting.
just like stood up and just smacked this girl in the back of the head.
That's another thing too, like fight videos. I very rarely can I watch a fight video. I can't. I feel like it stresses me out. Probably because if I was in that fight, I would be losing. Every time I'm like, damn, that girl looks really strong. I do not want to watch this. I don't like it. It makes
She's beating you up.
Yeah, it stresses me out. Except today or yesterday, I don't remember, the lady in Hayes Valley getting kicked out of that restaurant. Have you seen it? Dude, it's so bad. It's this white lady in these like knee-high leather boots, and this white blonde lady, and she's screaming at the people in the restaurant, and then they drag her out, and everyone's fighting, and then they trip her at the end. And I showed it to my friend, and everyone, like, I showed it to like 3 people, and everyone's like, I love the part when she trips. I love the part when she trips. I'm like, oh my, like I sent it in so many DMs and everyone's like, I love the part when she trips. I'm like, damn, I can't imagine being her. That's the only fight video I want to see. It wasn't even a fight video. She was just getting thrown out. But it was so funny. Anyways, yeah, see, those rituals, that wasn't even cool with me. I don't care. If
You made that someone's ritual.
Yeah, that was my ritual. And it's yours now too, because now you gotta go watch that shit. It's hilarious. She deserved it. How are you outside during the holiday season giving the service workers a hard time?
That's crazy.
At any time, do not give the service workers a hard time.
And
Uh,
don't give anyone a hard time who's gonna be handling
your food.
Like, come on.
Or that can kick you out of the place.
Right.
Like, what do you think? You just own everything, Christopher Columbus?
Right.
She just showed up like, oh, you can't kick me out, bitch. Yes, they did. They kicked her out so bad. Oh my God. I can't wait. I can't wait to show you. When she trips, you're going to love it.
I can't wait.
No, it's because the guy trips her really bad. The guy trips her really bad. Oh my God, wait. I'm gonna show you guys. This is so messed up. I feel bad for her, but then I don't at the same time.
Yeah, I love watching white people fall.
I love watching white people fall. That's such a crazy. I'm the first person in my lineage to hear that to hear that sentence out loud. Okay, wait.
I personally do watch knockout videos.
You do knockout?
Like biggest KOs of 2023, and it's just a compilation of people who and then they fold.
Okay, like she's like fighting with these people. Wait, I'll just. They drag her all the way outside. And then everyone's clapping. And look, she's fighting with the guy right there. And then she's pulling his hair. Look, she's pulling his hair like really bad. And her man is drunk. Why is her man there and not like allowing her to act like that? And then she's running, look. She tripped bad, right?
She was mid-air for a second.
And look, and her... Yeah, she's like, look, he tripped me. Look, she's... It's funny because she was like knocked out for a little bit. So good. So good. Now you have to incorporate that to your own ritual. Like you gotta doom scroll a little bit for me and watch the lady get tripped. No, but I'm sure you've already seen it. Everyone's literally seen it by now. Okay, so I've been digging through my files and I found my tarot workshop that I did that I keep referring to. And at first I just had the written notes, like the typed out notes, but then this is the actual one. So I am going to work on putting it like on you said on a Dropbox or something. Yeah, so people can come and look at this. If you are watching this and you want the link to this, I'll just give you the link to I'll send it to you like in your inbox, if you really want it. I talked about a lot of this, but something that's really interesting to me is that I can tell you all of the facts of the history of tarot and where it came from, but it's like nobody knows if that's true or not because there is no reliable sources on where tarot came from. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And even when you read in books and articles and movies and everything, it'll tell you like, we think. Nobody knows where it came from. Because I think what happened is it just developed over time. It's like a meme, It's like a meme. Like there was actually people that were obsessed with the fact that there's nothing mystical or psychological about the cards, that they're just playing cards. So, when there's haters, that means that you're up, So playing cards appeared in Europe in the second half of the 14th century. So this was a long, long, long time ago. And at first it was just playing cards. Obviously, the tarot didn't exist. The tarot started kind of revealing itself. I don't think people were creating it. I think it was something and then something else. And then the tarot came, they summoned the tarot with the combination of these elements, these cards, and adding the major arcana, I think kind of summoned that spirit there. And something that is really interesting I read in this book I have at home, I'll bring it next time, is that in Italy, there was Romani people, which the slur, it starts with the G and it ends with the Y, and it's like Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame. So basically they were poor merchants that were traveling merchants, and the Europeans, the Italians, gave them the decks and gave them the knowledge because they knew that they could keep it safe because they had nothing to trade it for type. So these are obviously, like I said, these are just legends and not facts. Although the early origins of tarot may have come from Egypt, the major arcana was added in Europe. So essentially it is a European practice. And again, we don't know. In 1660, the deck reached France, and Joan Noble published what was the first version of what would later be known as the Martial deck, the standard for the Rider White decks. Or I don't know how you say that. I'm just gonna say white, and if I'm wrong, too bad. But the you want to know something so funny is the Martial deck. When I was little, my mom used to take me with her to this lady that used to read her coffee beans, and she would read her tarot, and the lady had that deck. And I remember this from when I was like 2 or 3 years old. So we would go to this lady's house, and my mom would drink tea or coffee. No, it was coffee. My mom would drink coffee, and then there would be all these little grains of coffee left at the bottom of her cup, and the lady could see omens or messages in the beans, in the leftover coffee grounds, and would tell my mom things, and then would pull cards for her. And obviously this was when I was like 3. So when we were about to come to the US, the lady told her, like, you're gonna travel across the border. And I remember that she read that to her in her coffee beans. And she had this deck, the Martial deck. Um, so it's a really old deck, and I've never tried that one. I think it's, to me, it feels just really old school and, yeah, like prehistoric, because I learned on the Rider White deck. So I've personally never played with that one, but it is the standard. In 1770, the French esoteric Caile published the first book on cartomancy. So basically, in 1770 is when people started using cards for divination. So mind you, this is coming from the 1400s. Now we're in the 1700s. He coined the term major arcana and made a connection between astrology, the 4 elements, and the major arcana. So this is, again, the tarot starting to reveal itself more and more over time. So by this time, now they had a correlation to astrology, a correlation to the 4 elements, and the major arcana was in its place. So it's like, this is their, I feel like this was tarot's like teenager phase. Like, they were young, but obviously developing. In the 1880s, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn emerged out of the 19th century occult revival. So during this time, members included Arthur Edward White, which was the guy who made the deck, and the illustrator, her name was Pamela Coleman Smith, and they created it. They collaborated. So Pamela Smith was actually a black lady, and she was queer. So a big element of this deck and the illustrations is that not only a woman made it, but a black queer woman created this deck. So I love that for us. Being that it is the most important and popular deck of all time. And I have one here. I really like this deck. I just got it on Amazon, but something so cool about this is that it has, you know what's crazy is every time that I'm here doing this, this card always comes up, the 6 of Cups. And I really like this deck because it has like little descriptions down here. And then, so basically this one says familiarity, happy memories, reminiscing childhood memories, innocence, joy, and nostalgia. And when you turn it to the side, it tells you the sign that it's correlated with. So this is Scorpio, water. If you're asking a yes or no question, it says yes right there. Movement, balance, solutions, harmony, healing, and empathy, and that's correlating to the number 6. So this deck really breaks it down for you. It's a really good starter deck too. And then also, if you pull it like this in reverse, it'll tell you what the reverse meaning is: living in the past, forgiveness, lacking playfulness, moving forward, leaving home, independence. So I like to think that the reverse is always present. So just whatever feels a stronger pull to you. Sometimes the card will come out like this, but the energy is reversed because of the cards around it that kind of dampen the energy. So this is the card we get, the 6 of Cups. This is cute. So yeah, I really enjoy the illustrations on this one, and I talked about that last time. Is even the colors, like even if you look at this card, like the sky is black, that means something. The sky is blue here, that means something. All of these have such strong imagery when it comes to the people and the colors. Like, even if you look at the sky, you see how the sky is not fully blue. It's kind of overcast, and he's obviously not in the best mood, or he's kind of like pondering. And even how his feet are facing two directions, so there's multiple opportunities for him. If both of his feet were facing in the same direction, it would be something more certain, but this is a little bit uncertain. Long-term view, hard work, perseverance, diligence, sustainable results, and investment. So I really like this deck. And shout out to Pamela Smith. Pamela Coleman Smith. She's the greatest of all time. Something that I really love about anything, just about life and ideas, is archetypes. And if you're somebody who has that type of interest, you're going to know how you can talk about archetypes all day long and you'll never be done. Archetypes is just something that's been here before us and is going to be here long before us. And it's crazy because we're the ones with the brains and we made it up, but it's an ancient concept. So basically, archetypes, the original form of a concept or character, can be many times imitated but never duplicated. A container for symbols and definitions that can be understood by the collective imagination. So basically, when you watch a movie and there's always this hot girl in the movie, and that hot girl in the movie, her character and the concept of her travels through time and space. And there's billions of movies with the same archetype of girl. And the original concept or thought of this girl could never be duplicated, but there's billions of them. But the original concept there could never be another of that, It's so crazy because it's so vague, but it's also very specific, And this is so it can be understood by the collective imagination. So even if we don't speak the same language or we don't have the same upbringing, we've all seen a movie or a Disney movie or an action movie or like a Chuck Norris movie. And even if you've never seen a Chuck Norris movie, maybe you've seen another movie that's exactly the same of your culture. So all of these archetypes are meant to be standpoints for something that we all can recognize as that concept. And basically the tarot cards all of the characters in the tarot cards fall very neatly into these archetypes, and that archetype will show up to give you a message, and in every point of your life where it's necessary, that archetype will show up. I talk a lot about the hero's journey and how it reflects the fool's journey in the tarot. So if you have ever took a film class, they'll show you the hero's journey and how in a film, excuse me, in a film, the character goes through the hero's journey, and basically the fool's journey is exactly that. And all of the characters that show up within a film's concept are exactly how the tarot's characters are, just dressed differently or introduced differently or developed differently, but it's all the same archetype. So no matter where you grew up, no matter who raised you, this very raw and base level part of your human psyche all feels and thinks similarly. And it's kind of like, okay, this is how I like to think about it. It's like a red light, right? You have to stop at the red light no matter what religion you are, no matter what race you are, no matter how tall or skinny you are. You have to stop at the red light. And that red light was there before you were born. That red light will be there after you die. We all have to stop at the red light. So that I feel like the red light is kind of a really important example of what an archetype feels like. It's like imposed on you. It was here before you. You can't really do anything about it. All you can do is observe it. And if you're not observing it and you're not taking control of that part of your life, I think that it'll just take control of you. And if you don't pick your own archetype, you're just going to fall into the archetype that's available to you through the circumstance of your life. So something like tarot helps you navigate all of the parts in your life and helps you to choose which archetype you want to personify and take on so that you can be the best at dealing with the current situation. My advice is respect all of them, get familiar with them. They will come back over and over in movies, TVs, books, and shows. So this is something to always keep in mind when you're studying the tarot or when you're doing readings. It's like really this has helped me in my interpersonal life a lot, because then you stop being so angry with people, or you stop putting people on a pedestal, or you stop idolizing people, because then you just see them as the archetype and not as the person. So it's not a personal problem. You're just like, I just can't deal with that that archetype right now. It doesn't fit in my story. I'm not going to do it. And then it takes away the obligation of this personal interaction with someone. Learning what they are is really important, because then you know how to describe it or deal with it or advise someone or yourself when they show up. And also, just again, making up your mind and having those boundaries. I'm someone who, like, if you're coming to me for a love reading, and everyone knows this about me, I'm just like, break up with him. Break up with him. Unless he's showing up with like lots of love and care and stability and like coins. Like, unless he's this guy with all the coins, I'm like, just forget about him. And I've had to learn to recognize the archetypes when the reading comes, because a lot of the time, I'm going to be honest, girls will come and ask about a man, and they'll be the empress and they'll be a page. A lot of the time. And it's because the energy you bring, the archetypes kind of just take on the forms in the cards, just take on the forms of your situation and the energy in which you're explaining it. And most of the time, if you're a girl that has the brain to think, okay, I'm going to ask a tarot reader to help me break down this archetype, you probably are a queen compared to your little like page of wands or whatever they might be. And the guys never ever 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 ask about girls when they get readings. First of all, not a lot of men get readings, and when they do, that's the last thing they care about. First, they care about their money, they care about their health, they care about their parents, their family, their business. Last, they'll be like, oh, then the girl comes, or their love interest comes way, way later in the reading. It's never the core. So I feel like the girls are a little bit more in tune and emotional, and the ones that are asking about men are mothering these men, because if your man loved you, you would not be asking the tarot reader about him. I'm like, I just started going off for no reason. This is where you separate yourself as a reader. You are the Siri voice for universal correspondence. What is your prior relationship with this archetype? Again, so if I'm your Siri voice, that's going to be my stance and my advice to you. The Siri voice that I use would be understanding, like, if a page comes, okay, this is a perfect example. Another reader might be like, if a page shows up for the reading and you're the queen or you're the empress and he's the page, they might be like, okay, well, he might be a little underdeveloped, or like not as mature as you are, or not as experienced. He's lacking experience, and you can be someone that can show him experience. Like they'll frame it in a way where he might be naive or he might be immature, but they're not like, girl, he's a page, he's a princess, and you're the queen. He's learning from you, girl. He wants to be you so bad. They're not gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm like, call me now. Call Miss Cleo. Call me now. Call me now. What is that thing what did she say? Miss Cleo, call me now. Call me now. She was Jamaican, huh?
It was fake.
I loved her. I love her. She's an icon.
An icon.
So yeah, keep in mind also, and that's why I said in the last video, you cannot be so biased and harsh on yourself and on the people you're reading for. These are all things to keep in mind, And also, if you know that I'm a crazy bitch and I'm going to tell you off, don't book with me. If you know that I'm going to tell you how it really is, just ask your friend. Like, there'll be friends that'll listen to you tell the same story over and over. I am not the one. As a reader, the story is being told to you so that you can use your own discernment and retell the story for the current. Sometimes when you're reading cards, you really have to acknowledge who these characters are and what their message is to you based on your prior interactions with them. That's why I said it's so important to pick up your deck and pull cards all the time and become comfortable and familiar with the characters of the tarot, because they're going to keep showing up trying to tell you more things. And if you're not spending time with your deck, you're just going to have no idea what they're talking about. You're like, oh, there's a man with a stick. There's a man with the coins. What does that mean? Girl, use your head. Usually the mans with the sticks are the mans with the sticks, and that's all they come with. They come with ideas and heat between the legs. That's it. The mans with the coins, that's cold hard cash. The mans with the swords, they're gonna be mean to you. That's all. See, that's all you need to know. Not that's all you need to know, but that's kind of how you have to have your interactions with them. My advice is treat all cards neutrally, so none of them are good or bad, except for the King of Swords. I don't like him. I always talk shit about the King of Swords. Listen, I don't like air signs. I don't like the King. Everybody knows that about me. What do you have to say about it, and how are you going to say it? This is where you channel, not repeat what you read straight from the book. Okay? Taking time to learn your cards, and that's why these are cool, because it's kind of like a little flashcard, It's really important to know the characters of your deck and what they sound like and what they're talking about, so that when they show up, you know how to receive the message and you're open to the experience that they're offering. That's why it's not always good to rely on the book, because now you just know what the book says. You don't know what the actual character and what the actual collective spirit of the tarot is trying to tell you, And also, when you don't use the book, it's so much easier to deliver your message confidently from a firsthand experience and not secondhand from the book, So that's today's tarot segment. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you want to follow along with my workshop, send me a DM a DM, or just leave a comment and I'll send you the link to this file so you guys can follow along. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed our holiday special. I'm so excited for the new year. My birthday's coming up. It's almost my birthday. This time we could do that for my birthday. We don't have to go to Mardi Gras. I'm almost 35. That's crazy, huh? Whoa. That means I'm 5 years away from 40.
That's wild.
I'm looking for a salt and pepper if you got one. I'm at that age where I can steal your dad.
I did a writer's script.
You're like, hold on. I'm just kidding. I don't even like older guys. Thank you guys so much. We love you. Make sure you're following our Instagram at El Caile Podcast with Gabriela. Make sure you're following our YouTube at El Caile Podcast with Gabriela. Love you. We hope you loved it. Bye.